It's time to make some Christmas decorations. I love making Christmas decorations. Today I've got 5 things for you to make, and they're all made from things that are fairly easy to come by. You've probably got them in the house, in your stash, and if not, you can find them very easily in the shops. We're going to make Christmas angels. Oh, Christmas angels are just so part of the whole Christmas celebration. And they just look so lovely. You can use Christmas angels all year too, don't forget. So if you like any of these angels, they may be useful for you, for a gift for somebody in the future. You never know, for a birthday. Lots of people like angels nowadays. Right, no time for chatting. Let's get on with the crafting. I love working with sparkles. Look at that. It's a sparkle, a glitter put on foam sheet. This one is 1.8 millimeters thick. You can get 2 millimeters, which is fine. I wouldn't go any thicker than that because it gets a little bit stiff after that. So I've got 2 colours. You can use as many colours as you like. I'm going for a gold and a silver because I think they go together nicely and will make a perfect angel. So I get my main base colour, which is going to be silver. Turn it over. Get a compass. Remember these from school days? And then I'm going to open this up to 5 centimetres. Like that, 5 centimetres. And then, just so as not to waste too much foam, make sure you start right on this edge. And then draw, a circle, or a semicircle I should say. And then next door to it, you want to set your compass on 4 centimetres. And then putting your compass point right on the edge, but making sure you don't overlap the circles, that wouldn't work. Draw yourself another circle. Or semicircle, keep saying circle, no idea why. And then cut them out. Now I don't know, but I would always be very careful if using your best dressmaking or fabric scissors, because I think all those little bits of glitter may affect it, so I use my paper scissors for this. And it's so easy to cut, it's not a problem anyway. The biggest problem I have is cutting it perfectly smooth. It's better if you can do big long strokes rather than lots of little ones, so the longer the scissors the better. But I always seem to make a little knobbly bit when I get to the circle. But that doesn't matter because we're going to frill the end of this up. Take some pinking shears, whoa, they're big ones. And I'm just going to cut very close to this edge. Now you can cut out using your pinking shears, but I find if you do that it's even more difficult to get a straight line. So I cut it out normally with the straight scissors and then do the pinking bit. And this is completely optional. You can leave these straight edged if you want to. Now I'm getting a pencil and marking off. I know I'm terrible for switching between centimetres and inches because this mat is centimetres and my rulers are inches. I'm cutting a 1 centimetre strip there. And then coming along with my pinking shears inside that 1 centimetre strip. Like that. All the way to the top. And then turn it over the other way and decide how wide you want this to be. Now I'm going to use this as a trim on the skirt, so I'm going to make it quite thin. The reason why I measured 1 centimetre is because I don't have 1/2 centimetre markings, but I can cut 2 out of this then. Look at that for some gorgeous rickrack braid that you've just made out of foam sheet. I can recommend if you've never used this foam sheet, it's really worth trying. I love it. So now out with the glue gun. And I'm going to put a layer of this just above the bottom frill there. And I'm not going to put the glue onto the silver one. I'm going to put it onto the gold one. Because I always make more than enough mess with glue without trying to put it on first. Bring it closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. And then just work at it about 1 inch or so at a time, or how much you're brave enough to do. And don't panic too much if it isn't even. Just do your best. And then chop the end off just a teeny tiny bit below the level of the silver. Pop a bit of glue on the bottom and don't worry about the top, get the bottom lined up because that's the most fiddly part. Like that. So there we go, that's our first little cone part of our little angel. And do the same, but with the smaller semicircle. Now I'm going to fold that halfway, give it a push, and then in that dip there, a little blob of hot glue, and then hold it together like that. And while you're holding that, you can put a little blob about halfway up on the back there, and then fold this over that way and hold that. Turn it round very carefully without letting go, and while that's cooling you can do the same on this half. A little blob of glue halfway up and fold it back on itself, and then keep holding it until it's cool. Put a bit too much glue on there, but that doesn't matter, you won't see that. If you don't want to keep holding these, then one thing you can do is use clothes pegs. I wouldn't use bulldog clips, they're a bit too harsh for using on foam sheets, but if you use a clothes peg, they're pretty good. And now you can go and have a drink. Whoops, now you go make yourself a cup of coffee, you can do something else, you can watch some TV while this is cooling. It doesn't take that long. But as soon as it's cool then, you can take it off. And you've got yourself some gorgeous little wings. Take your cone, chop the top off the cone, just give it a flat surface, a little bit more than that. Put some hot glue on there. And then make sure you've got the back at the back, glue your wings on. Mainly just so that you don't have a seam running down it. If you accidentally put it on wrong, then you can either leave it or find something to glue on top of it to hide it. We crafters are always covering up our mistakes using something, and it looks sometimes better than the original. This is a bit of a pain to dry. You have to sit and wait for probably about a minute, I would say, before it actually is firm enough to let go of. We now have a headless angel. Ooh. You can use wooden beads, you can use pearls. I've got these paper beads. I bought a huge pack in a thrift store, so I'm using these for most things. And this is going to be the head. A little bit of glue, and on it goes where the head would be. Measure out how much you would want to make a halo with. It depends how high or low on her face is going to be, or his face. This may sound obvious, but make sure you haven't twisted it when you joined it up. I've made that mistake. And glue it into place. Now you can put a pipe cleaner up the back and then elevate in the halo, but I like this like this. I think it looks nice, it ties in her outfit better. So now get a button that's slightly larger than the decoration you want to put on the front of the angel. If you push it firmly into the back of the foam glitter sheet, it'll make an outline. Then take your pinking shears and cut around that outline, and you end up with one of these. Now you're going to pop that there. It hides all the joins and just adds a little something, I think. Tiny bit of hot glue. Burn your finger out, and then on it goes. And now all we need is a hanger. And there you have an absolutely stunning little angel to go on your tree. Now you can't put a face on it. A lot of decorations don't have faces on angels. I don't want to put a face on it because I think I'll spoil it. I think she's lovely as she is. But you can also make one now with the other sheet, and you could have coordinating angels. Now, don't they make a lovely pair of angels? I just love it when you do two identical angels but in opposite colourways. And you can use these in lots of different colours. Here's one I made that took a little longer because I cut some hearts out and popped those on, and I put a little pipe cleaner halo on the back of her, and now she looks like that compared to like that. So it depends what you want to do. You can just use your imagination and do anything you like with these angels. Make them suit your decor and your tastes. Oh, I just love Christmas. Let's have a look what these look like up on my display. If you're enjoying this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because I've got lots more Christmas craft coming before the big day. I've had such great fun coming up with angel ideas, and I've come up with another idea using a curtain ring. I do like to use curtain rings, so if you have them around the house, don't give them away, because I know at least one viewer of mine gave hers to the thrift store and had to go and buy some back. So we're going to use, for this project, you need 36 pieces of 10-inch, and I'm using this like fluffy yarn. It's not the thickest you can get. I think it's sort of a medium weight. And I also want 12 4-inch pieces. So if you're a very beginner and you don't really know how to do that, it's very quick. Cut yourself a piece of card the length you want. This is 4 inches. And then I want 12 pieces, so I'll need 6 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. Chop it there. Hold the fold at the top. Chop it at the bottom. And then chop it at the top. Now get all your pieces. You are going to be trimming this, so don't worry too much. But get all your pieces as even as you can all together at the end. These I dropped, and they ended up in a terrible mess. So this is I've sort of sorted them out, but they still need a little bit of sorting. To finalise, if you've got any that are really sticking out badly, pull them out. Just relay them where they should be. Check the bottom. Then check the top. Those two are a bit suspect. There, and that's near enough for our purposes because we are going to be trimming the bottom. So you want to hold these firmly, don't drop them. It can be done. Poke them through the curtain ring to the halfway mark, and when you get to roughly the halfway mark, try to get them lying nice and smooth and neat. You can either use a piece of yarn, or for this I find it easier to use a pipe cleaner, like this. Pop it just under where the curtain ring is. Take it round to the back, making sure all those pieces of yarn are still lying flat. And then twist the pipe cleaner, pull at the same time as you twist. And that's what you're looking for. You don't want a tiny, tiny pull in here, which is going to be like the angel's waist area. Just as long as you can see that there's a definition between the top and the bottom. I may tighten that a tiny bit more. Chop off your pipe cleaners. Don't use your best scissors for this bit. And now, when everything's laying flat, trim the skirt. Unless you're going for a shabby chic angel. And I always find that when I pick it up, it all goes a bit wonky and you've got to do it once more. Take your 12 pieces of yarn, divide them into 2 groups of 6, and then fold your yarn in half, put the loop through the curtain rail, put the tails through the loop, and tighten it up. I just do that 6 times on the one side, 6 times on the other. This is one of those crafts that isn't too difficult to do, as long as you're not in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, you end up all fingers and thumbs. But if you can take your time, it's a really pleasant thing to do, especially if you're making these for somebody else, a loved one. And if you just got those on your mind as you're making it, it gives a lovely sense of doing something for somebody, something kind. It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling that really makes Christmas. That family and friends are an important feeling. Angels are also an ideal gift to give somebody. If they're feeling a bit sad or ill, they're a lovely thing to keep around the house. Some people just love surrounding themselves with angels. So there's a gift idea for you for Christmas. And smooth them out between your fingers and cut them as if you're cutting a fringe, like that. And the same on the other side. Push them down into place and it'll look almost as if you've cut them rounded into the angel like that. It's a lot easier than trying to push them down and then cut them in a rounded shape. It's very difficult, that. You can either tie a piece of ribbon around the waist of the angel. I can put these on, which is like these strips of bead things you cut off. I don't like throwing away bits and pieces, so I'm going to use this that I had from the last project. It's still left. So I'm just going to wrap it around the angel's waist and glue it at the back. Now we need a head. Glue your head, whether you're using a paper bead or a wooden bead, or you can buy little angel faces, I think, already made onto beads. I'll have a look. I'm sure I've seen those, or at least faces, over on Amazon. I'll see if I can find them and pop them in my shop for you. And you've got two choices. You can make a little halo like this, just by getting a piece of pipe cleaner and making a halo shape and then glue it to the back. But I find that, especially on this sort of angel, there's not quite room. It's starting to look squashed, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to trim the end off and put it directly on her head, which reminds me of when I was a little girl and I was an angel in the school play. Have you ever been an angel in the school play? Or were you a shepherd? Were you the donkey? I loved being the angel. I felt so important. I was only 5 and it just seemed magical. So there we go. We have the halo done. And now I'm going to use this piece of ribbon for a hanger. Glue some to the back of the hoop. One crossover on the ribbon, round the front, back up to the back. And glue it over there. Snip the excess off. I like to put a loop in for things that are going on the tree, because then I can hang them on the tree, and if they're sticking out on a branch like that, let's try to show you, it is going to run facing outwards, whereas if you don't put that loop, it faces sideways. And then I just put another little drop of glue in there, chatting away, forgot all about that, and glue that there. And there you've got a gorgeous little angel made from yarn, a curtain hoop, and a few bits and pieces. And you can adjust the height of her head. If she's starting to work her way up to the top, give it a little tug and she'll move down a bit. And these here, you can either glue them into place, but I don't mind. I'm happy enough to just give them a little push if I need to. Have you got a favourite yet? I can't wait to see which is your favourite at the end of the video. Don't forget to leave me that message of which one you think is the nicest. Right, let's see what this looks like up on my display. I had such a wonderful time figuring out what to do with the Lost Angel. I got so many ideas. I thought I'll show you one more of my ideas. So I've got to this point again with the dress. We could always twist that round and we hide the join in the curtain ring. But now I want to use some of this deco mesh. Now you can use any ribbon, wired ribbon, but I'm going to use this. I need to cut 6 inches off this. Oh, little tip. If you leave your wrapping on something like deco mesh, because it keeps bursting off the reel, so I leave my plastic seal on there and then pull out to the side, it's a lot easier. So there's my 6-inch piece, and now I'm going to dovetail each end. And I'm going to fold it over like that, just to make sure I got the same dovetail each side. It's not usually so important, but I think it's more important when you're making an angel. Scrunch up the middle of your bow. It's not really a bow, it's the angel's wings. And then put your pipe cleaner around, call it a type cleaner, and tighten it up. Now, one advantage you've got when you're doing this, if you're not making an angel with the curtain ring on the top, you can now take this top and you can form it into a halo. And then when you attach the wings, it's in exactly the right place. But I'm not doing that, because I've got a little curtain ring that it's in, and it'll be in the way, it'll look cluttered. Chop the ends off, and then I'm going to glue that into place on the angel's back. Blob of hot glue. And now the little bits that you cut off, there should be a little sticky out end. Unless you were very careful and you've got no sticky out bit, so I should say leave a tiny sticky out bit. And then it gives it more grip. And push your wings into the back of the angel's body. Glue on the head. Glue on the halo. And then for this one, I'm just going to put on a simple hanger, which is fold the ribbon in half, put the loop through the curtain ring, the ends through the loop, tighten it down and tie a knot at the top. Now you don't have to make these angels mainly in white. I make in white because I just fancied white and silver for most of my decorations, and this I'm doing different themes for my tree, and I thought I'd make some nice white and silver ones. At the end of the day, we don't really know what colour angels will be wearing. So I'm going for white, but you can go for any colour you like. All right, I love this. Let's see what this looks like up on my display. For this angel, I'm going to use some tulle lace and some pipe cleaners. Now you don't have to use pipe cleaners, you can use a little bit of thread or twine, something you've got, but I'm using pipe cleaners just because I find it a little faster to do. So you need 2 pieces of tulle. This one is 8 inches by 24 inches, and this one is 36 inches by 4 inches. We take the 24 by 8 inch one, and then use your fingers and gather it up like that. Fold it in half, pop a pipe cleaner through, double check it is roughly in half, and then twist it. And I'm just going to level off the bottom like that. If you want to, you can spend a while and cut all jiggedy jaggedy edges in. That would look lovely too. And just below that pipe cleaner, wrap it round, and you're sorting the bodice out from the rest of the skirt. You can just leave it long and flowing, but I like to have a bit of a shape. So for me, that's how I like to do it. You do whatever you want to do. Right, pop that to one side. Get your long 36 by 4 inch piece, and then I'm going to fold this in half. I'm trying to make the wings out of this, and if you just use one piece, I find it's not so fluffy, and I do love a fluffy bow, and this fluffy bow is going to turn into the wings. So it's a 2-loop bow. Fold yourself 2 loops and tie them in a knot. I love this bow. It is so easy and always sits perfectly. Look at that. I got all this tulle years ago from somebody had given a broken tatty old bridesmaid dress into the charity shop, and they were charging £1 for it because nobody wanted it. They'd reduced it and reduced it. It was pretty awful. So I thought, well, I can do something with that. So I bought it. Trim off my ends like that. And make sure that you nicely floof this bow, because it can clump. Now that is looking lovely. There's a bit of a messy end there. Chop that off. And now check for size. Now this one is going to be rather a flamboyant angel. I could make it sensible and you could make it sensible, but I wanted flamboyancy. Look at that. I love that. And you could even, if you wanted to, make that bow in a slightly different colour to the dress. And that way then it would really stand out. So now I'm going to cut the ends off the pipe cleaners. Like that. If you're worried they're going to come undone, a little blob of hot glue, just a tiny bit. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. But being pipe cleaners, look at me, I'm dropping this. Being pipe cleaners, you should be fine. I'm going to glue the head onto the pipe cleaner. Got a lovely little hole in the bottom of these, which makes it very easy. And there we have the head. Now if you fold a pipe cleaner in half, fold the ends in like that. Then put the pipe cleaner around the back of the angel and glue that into place at the back of her head. Round that a little bit more so it sits nicely. I realise these are going to be the angel's arms and they're a bit long. I think we could get away with it, but I don't want them to be that long. I think they look a bit odd. So I'm going to bend further up, straighten that out, and then chop stop the arms at a sensible length. Push them down a little bit. So they come in at her waist, like that. Glue them to her waist. A nice big blob of glue. Well, not too big. And then glue, cut the back off this flower. And glue that on too. Now it looks like she's holding a flower. Get a sparkly pipe cleaner, or you could use a plain one. Make a circle for the halo and wrap the end around. Bend it down. Chop it off at a reasonable length. Glue it to your angel's back. Add some extra glue. And add the bow, which now becomes the wings. So there you've got your angel. She got beautiful floofed up wings. She's holding a flower. And I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. When the hot glue is completely dried on the back, you can then make sure the halo is straight. But until it's dried, just leave it be and let it cool. Right, let's see what this looks like up on my display. Woo! I thought I had 5 angel crafts ready for you. I'd miscounted, I only had 4. So this one is going to be one that I've just thought of as I'm going along, and we'll see how it goes. So I've got myself a toilet roll tube and this old tatty piece of fabric. And I'm going to cover the toilet roll tube with the fabric, mainly to hide the cardboardy look of the tube. I love hot glue. It's not always the best solution, but it's always the quickest. So this, in theory, is going to be the shoulders. Oh, bear with me, this could go terribly wrong. Just glue the top there for the moment, while I try to figure out what on earth I'm going to do with the sides. And then a run of hot glue up inside here, just to hold the fabric up inside. Give it a nice finished edge. I've got this gorgeous vintage fabric, look at that. It really keeps its shape well. So I'm going to get a needle and thread, a knot in the end, and don't panic if you don't like sewing. This really isn't going to be too difficult. I'm just going to take roughly, very, very roughly, 4 times the length of my angel. It may be too much. We'll find out. I mean, 4 times around it, and I've grossly overestimated how much that was going to take. And then just very roughly in and out with your needle, like that, from one end to the other. Don't make the stitches too small, you're just making hard work for yourself. Big stitches will be fine. Not too big. Don't you take it 6 inches per stitch, just cheating. And you'll see now, when you pull this up, it gathers it nicely. Are you making your own Christmas decorations this year? If so, I'd love to know. I know some of you already are, and some of you plan to. It's great fun making your own decorations. You can also get them to fit exactly what you want. Sometimes you go into the shop and all they've got is the latest fashion. It's not necessarily what you want for your tree. This way, you can have exactly what you want. Right, so we've got the other end. Make sure you've got a little bit of a gap in the top. You don't want to pull it completely tight. And then get the both ends, where you started and where you ended. Find your needle. Making sure you keep in the ruffles. Do a couple of stitches just to finish it off. And I also like on the last 2 to put the cotton through the loop and pull tight like that. What do you reckon at this point? Is this going to be a success or a disaster? I'm still not sure. I think it's got potential. I think it could go well. It could go badly. So there we go. There's the skirt of the angel. And there's the angel. So we'll pop that on top. Oh, yes, we're doing fine. So now I'm going to get some glue and glue that to the top bit there. Like that. Try not to get glue on the skirt as I put it over. Like that. And push it into place. Now I'm going to make some wings, and I thought I could use this for the wings too. It's so beautiful. So I'm going to take, let's have a look. That's about a foot. Yes, about 18 inches, I think. Ish. As you can see, this is all very, very roughly done. Oh yes, I think that is gorgeous. So we need a pipe cleaner. Pop it around the middle and twist it into place. And that's going to make a lovely pair of wings. So they'll be going there, and we need a head. The only bead I've got in the whole of the house is this one. So this is going to be the head. I've got smaller ones, but nothing this size. So now I'm going to glue the bead to the top of the body. Look at that, I've even glued my sewing needle and thread to my glue gun now. There, just like that. Now we need some edging around that neck. It's a bit of a mess. I think pipe cleaner's going to work. Pop it over the sticky out ends. Had I thought this through, we'd have lots of little tricks and tips for not making this look quite so disastrous, but I didn't. I didn't have time. I think I'm going to take the edge off those shoulders as well. She's a little bit broad-shouldered. That's better. So we'll make a nice little halo. Twist the end around. Cut it there. You may think to yourself, oh, I could never come up with all these ideas. But sometimes it's good to challenge yourself with something like this. I think right then I'm going to pull a few things out of my craft supplies, and I'm going to make something this morning or in the next hour and see what you come up with. If it goes terribly wrong, pop it in the bin and nobody will ever know. But the chances are, I reckon that you do a wonderful job. Glue her dress down there. Wait till this glue cools now, and then we can make sure it's in its final position. We'll pop the wings on while we're at it. Plenty of glue. Right, I've got this little bit of foam here, and I want to do something with the front, so I'm going to put a little blob of glue in there and glue it there. Make another little fold in there and glue it in there. Not quite sure what it's supposed to look like, but it's supposed to look like something. Oh yes, I think that adds a little bit of something. I don't know what it adds, what something, but definitely something. Got this big one. I could add those. Maybe looking a little bit tacky now. I think maybe that ship has long sailed. Oh, I think that'll look nice. I'm going to pop that on. I want to put quite a substantial hanger on this because it's not as light as the others. I'm going to use this very fine filament. I think the camera's picking it up because it's very strong and it's very invisible. So there we have a rather rushed, but I think quite charming angel. They're a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be, substantial than my other delicate little angels. It was so easy to do, and it really was a lot of fun because I had no idea where I was going with this one. So I think I'll count that as a pass. Not my best angel, but still nice. Which one was your favourite angel? Does she make it into your top 3? Right, let's see what she looks like up on my display.
Well, that was fun and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching and that you're going to make some angels too. Maybe you've already made angels. Let me know in the comments. How many angels have you made? If you're going to make these angels, then let me know too. And I can't wait to hear how it goes.
There will be many more Christmas crafts coming before the big day, so don't forget to subscribe, because otherwise you could miss out. And if you subscribe and if you ding the little bell that's by the side of it, then you'll get to know as soon as I put out a video, and you'll also get notified if I have any community posts, I think. I can never quite get the hang of community posts, but I'll get there. Well, I'll see you all next time, but until then, happy crafting, and don't forget, have fun! Bye!